we go. Hello, beautiful people. We're back. We're on. We're doing things. And yeah, we've also got little Moo here. Hey, got little Moo. What a cute little boy. Has there ever been a cuter boy than you? I don't think so. So we're starting pretty early. It's 10 o'clock. We got 45 minutes before the detachments are going to come out. And I'm going to do a little bit of theory crafting, as always. Hail to God Emperor Cavill. So let's go to Waha Padaya. And I want to have a look at some stuff. I want to have a look at some things and some stuff, and see what's what. So Eldari. So we want to look at because we don't have. Yeah, they've got the armored war host up there now. Cool. Let's have a look at that. Not anything for me to drop down there, but that's fine. Armored war host. So assault and reroll advanced rolls made for Eldari vehicles. We got guiding presence. Until the end of the phase, each time a model makes an attack, add 1 to the hit roll. So yeah, it's just an Eldari Psycho in your shooting phase. Select 1 friendly Eldari vehicle, give them +1 to hit. In your command phase. Oh, and I have to mute because Chelsea is calling me. Okay, sorry everybody. Chell had her tire blowout, and actually, I'm gonna go onto my speakers just because like it is fucking hot, even with aircon. All right, I can take these off. Yeah. So Chell blew a tire, and aside from the fact that she's pregnant, just nighttime. Being a female out in the middle of nowhere, she had to get NRMA. Had to give. Oh my god. Okay, I'm muting again. Like at this point, I have to assume she's fucking with me. Just like as soon as I unmute and start explaining. Yeah, so yeah, Chelly blew a tire. She had a tow truck take her off the highway to somewhere where they can actually like look after the thing without being in danger. So yeah, that's why I had to mute, and I may have to mute across the course of the stream. Just because yeah, she had to Just have to make sure she's okay. All right, so in the lead up to everything, because I was already streaming my WoW progress, I'm also going to be looking at just like theory crafting, like an Eldari list, because this will be likely my new project to learn another part of the game. As I've said a couple of times, I want to learn every army in the game so that, you know, not only can I be a better player and a better coach and all that sort of stuff, but, you know, actually potentially play other factions as I need to. But yeah, so in command phase, if the bearer any transports embarked within is within range of an objective marker you control, roll 1d6. On a 3+, you gain a CP. I feel like this is just an easy CP, honestly. Spirit Stone of Raylith. While the bearer is within 3 inches of one or more friendly Eldari vehicle units, it has Lone Op and it can heal it. That one I think is going to be good, depending on the units that we have access to. And then Guileful Strategist is the redeploy for 15 points. Now, it is only Eldari vehicles, but, I mean, if you're just running a bunch of transports and fire prisms, then that's pretty good. Then we've got Feel No Pain Against Mortal Wounds for a vehicle unit. Reinforcement Step, 1 Eldari vehicle that can fly, can deep strike 6 inches horizontal. If it does until the end of the turn, it cannot declare a charge. If it's a transport, each unit disembarks, get out 6 inches. Swift Deployment is... disembark from a transport after it's advanced. Units doing so count as having made a normal move. Yep. Soul Sight. 1 Eldari vehicle, reroll a hit, a wound, and a damage roll using fast dice rolling, whatever. Vectored Engines is movement phase vehicle that can fly, falls back. You're eligible to shoot in a turn in which you fall back, and then anti-grav repulsion is -2 to charge. So when we look at putting that into the context of stuff that we might take, an Autarch Wayleaper is obviously like a really good target for the CP farming stratagem because they're lone op, they can just sit on your backfield. They're very hard to take out. And there's a reason why the Eldari have been using these guys for quite a while. They are 115 points. You should test... Though, having said that, if you take that, it's at the start of command phase, if this model's your warlord, you just gain a CP. So I guess it gives you options to not go a Wayleaper. I'm assuming that's the intent behind it. So if I were to look at like a Farseer on Skyrunner, like what do these guys offer us? Because these guys are mounted character, fly, Psycho, Farseer Skyrunner. So... Yep, or I could go just a normal Farseer. So this one, and actually let's bring up the alternate Farseer as well. So aside from the Strands of Fate, once per turn when you use a Fate dice to substitute for a model within 12 Farseer model from your army, 1 model from your ability can use it, flip it to a 6. Guide Psyche in your command phase, you can roll 1d6 on a 2+, select 1 friendly Eldari unit within 12 of this Psyker. Start of your next command phase, each time model on that unit makes an attack, you can reroll the hit roll. So... like, that one would be good to put with a big bike unit because you're using a ton of their, like, high-volume shooting, and full rerolls to hit on that is just, like, ridiculous. A normal Farseer, if we were to stick them on the backfield, just next to fire prisms or whatever, you've got flip it to a 6 and +1 to wound. So that is also useful. +1 to wound on a... Fire Prism, which, you know, is very likely that you're taking, or even like, if I look at it in terms of the bike squads, like I'm not, you know, assuming that I'm going like mad. Oh wait, are they not even a vehicle unit? I might be completely off base with this. They are, I think, Wind Riders are the name of them. So they're mounted and fly, but they're not vehicle. Okay, so bike units aren't going to be the thing. That's a little bit disappointing, I'll be honest. But, yeah. So we got Warwalkers, we got... what did our Vipers do? I think I remember the name Viper. Harassment Fire. So this thing is 75 points. It is Fly Vehicle Vipers. In your shooting phase after this model is shot, select 1 enemy unit. It strips cover from it, so that's not terrible, I guess. Can have the Shuriken Cannon replaced with one of the following. So what does it come with? Shuriken Cannon, Twin Shuriken Catapult. So the Shuriken Cannon, sustained hits, 3 shots, strength 6, AP1 damage 2, yeah. Eldari Missile Launcher, Starshot and Sunburst is okay. 1 shot at D6 damage is underwhelming, but the The Sunburst isn't terrible, honestly. +1 to wound makes a little bit of this better. But then you've got like something like a Bright Lance, which is D6 +2 and AP3. Scatter Laser looks terrible. Star Cannon, 2 shots of Strength 8, AP3, damage 2. That's kind of terrible as well. So I think the Bright Lance might be the thing on that. I don't know. I actually don't know. The Shuriken Cannon's basically what? Just a heavy bolter. And you'll be using these things for stripping cover. So having like a Bright Lance you can just send into something isn't a terrible idea. Maybe the missile launcher is a play in that instance. But yeah, anyway. Okay, assuming that you fit them in. They are only 75 points. Fire Prisms are likely going to be a must. Night Spinners. What else we got that are vehicles? So we've got a Wave Serpent that we can use. Falcons are also another one that I know is a vehicle. Then you've also got, what are these other ones that I can't remember the ones that people were actually using. I think it's like a Hornet, maybe? Let's have a look at those. Okay, so Fire Prism for 170 points. This thing is crazy. This profile is what a Hammerhead wishes it had. 2d6 blast or linked fire so you can shoot through other fire prisms. Just a flat 6 damage with 2 shots. Which is just crazy. Absolutely crazy. Each time it's selected to shoot, you re-roll a hit roll, you re-roll a wound roll when resolving those attacks. You can also spend the CP, so you can re-roll 2 hit rolls and re-roll 2 wound rolls, and damage rolls don't matter, so you don't care about that. Yep, and then linked fire, you can go through other things. So that's kind of the first thing. So I'm actually going to like kind of build this list as we're going. Bikes aren't vehicles. This is Fire Prism, the detachment. Wraiths are vehicles. Interesting. Okay, so we'd be looking at Wraithguard. I'll look at Wraith Knight as well. Wraithguard obviously have been used since like the beginning of time. This gives them assault. This gives them fall back and shoot. Maybe this is actually like about the Wraiths. Now, 10 squads are now 380, which is incredibly expensive. Though having said that, 5 shots of AP4 D6 damage at strength 14 isn't terrible. They are ballistic skill 4. You do have a shoot back that you can do. They're a 2-up armor save with 3 wounds apiece. I don't think they have an invuln. No, they're infantry. Wraith Construct, Wraithguard. So it'd be what? Wraith Knight? This is a monster, not a vehicle. That is terrible. Okay, so Wraithguard are off the field. Wraith Knight are off the field. Night Spinners with this detachment. You could really utilize this thing as more of a direct sort of thing, because 48 inches getting angles at D6 +3 with blast, devastating wounds, indirect fire, twin linked. Take out the indirect fire and you're pinning things down as well at 48 inches. That's not terrible because assault will actually let you do a decent amount of the fuck? Okay, I'll have to deal with that later. I wonder. All right, so Wave Serpents, just your general transport. 12 Eldari infantry models. Each Wraith construct takes up 2. I think there is room for, like you would need infantry in this. No two ways about it. Well, what do you get from this? So in your shooting phase, select one enemy unit that is within 12 visible to this model, roll a D6 on a 2+. That enemy unit suffers D3 mortal wounds and must take a battle shock test. So do you Wave Serpent Shield you just get? Okay. And that comes equipped with Twin Shuriken Cannon, Twin Shuriken Catapult. So Twin Shuriken Cannon is that heavy bolter. Twin Shuriken Catapult is not amazing, honestly. 2 shots, strength 4, AP1, damage 1. Okay. But it's its transport capability. And then also going 14 and being able to dump stuff out. They also get a 5-up invuln with the Devilfish does not. Now the Falcons, which are not a dedicated transport, Pulse laser, scatter laser, twin shuriken catapult. You can change for bright lances, which you probably would, which is the scatter laser because the scatter laser sucks. This model's twin shuriken catapult can be replaced with one shuriken cannon. So shuriken cannon is the heavy bolter. Twin shuriken catapult is the smaller one. Okay. Fire support in shooting phase after this model shot. Select one enemy unit hit by those attacks. Till the end of your turn, each time a friendly model that disembarked from this transport, this turn that makes an attack against that enemy unit, you can reroll the wound rolls. So that's until the end of the turn. So that's charge phase stuff that you can do. Now that one, in this particular detachment, I don't know if that favors what we're going for. Like, you probably will have stuff that, like, because this is shooting or fighting phase. And getting stuff out and having rerolls to wound against them is obviously incredibly good. Falcons for 130 is not bad. Like, obviously they're more expensive than a devilfish, but they're also now it's 6 infantry models, so you're having smaller units come out of it. I wonder what that would pair with. Now, was it the Hornet that I was thinking of? 100 points. Each time this model ends a normal move, you can select one enemy unit that are moved over during that move, then roll 66 for each 4+ suffer a mortal wound. Okay, so it's a bomber, essentially. Vehicle fly Hornet, and comes equipped with 2 Hornet pulse lasers, but it can have them swapped out for what would likely be bright lancers, honestly. The Hornet pulse lasers are 2 shots of strength 9 AP2 D3 damage, so if you got 4 shots of that, it's not terrible, but I think the bright lancers are still better. Yeah. Okay, so then if we're looking at things that can go in those transports, let's have a look at Storm Guardians and Guardian Defenders as our battle line, because we do probably want to include some battle line in what we're doing. Let's look at Dark Reapers, Dire Avengers, Fire Dragons, Howling Banshees. What else might go in them? Striking Scorpions. I think that's probably everything. All right, so Storm Guardians, what do they give us? They're 100 points. So they're a breacher unit, basically. Stormblades, at the end of your command phase, this unit's in range with an objective marker. It gives you sticky. Crew platform, when the last Storm Guardian model in this unit is destroyed, any remaining Serpent Scale platform models in this unit are also destroyed. Serpent Shield, you got a 5+ invuln, so where does that come from? Do they just have it? Is that just a thing that they have? And that's a War Gear ability. So it's the Serpent Scale platform. So the Serpent Scale platform is equipped with what? Guardian combat weapon and a Serpent Shield. Okay. So I'm assuming that's just like a wound battery for them. The Eldari Flamer is just a Tau Flamer, essentially. 2 Storm Guardians can have their Shuriken Pistol replaced with a Guardian Fusion Gun, which is not bad to have on that sort of a unit. 2 shots of Melter 2, Strength 8, AP4 D6 damage. That's not terrible. 2 Storm Guardians can have their combat weapon replaced with 1 Eldari Power Sword. Okay. So for 100 points, Guardian Defenders, 100 points as well. When at the end of your command phase, for each objective marker you control that has 1 or more units from your army with this ability, roll 1d6 and add it to your fate dice pool, displaying the result you just rolled. So this is a way for you to keep your fate dice going, even though they got gutted pretty heavily. So you're probably including at least one of these on your backfield. Cool. And then you got the heavy weapon platform. You could take a Bright Lance on it or a missile launcher. I don't know what you'd pick for a backfield objective holder. Can be led by an Autark, Eldrad, Farseer, Prince Uriel, Vizark, Warlock, or Yvrain. Okay. I think Guardian Defenders are probably a good one to include, just for the fake dice stuff, because avoiding rolling dice is really, really, really nice. Big race, sorry, not little guys. Yeah, they're monsters. They used to be at least. Might be Monster Day. Yeah, they are. Never mind, they changed it. It sure is just Fire Prisms and Wall Walkers. Yeah, basically. You could look at the aircraft, but they don't get assault, or they don't care about assault. And you just do it for some of the stratagems, I guess. Let me actually go back to it. Is that Jelly? Okay. All right. God, Chelly's getting the runaround on this. I mean, I guess it's good that like I don't actually have to physically drive like an hour up to where she is to do all this stuff for her. Okay, go back again. Let's have a look at the stratagems. Would they work with some of the flyers? So fallback doesn't matter. -2 to charge could matter for anything that's like, you know, old Ron trying to get into it. Re-rolling hit, wound, and damage rolls might do something. Cloud Strike, maybe? So wait, hang on. This says Eldari vehicle and can fly and is in strategic reserves. It now has deep strike. Is there something that says that aircraft can never deep strike? Let me just look up core rules. Because if that exists, if Eldari have decent aircraft, that might actually be something you can do to like fuck them off. Jay, avoiding rolling dice is key. I mean. So let's look up the aircraft rules. Starting reserves, strategic reserves, only aircraft in the movement phase, cannot advance, fall back, remain stationary when it's selected to move, blah, blah, blah. If we're making a normal move, blah, blah, blah. Yep. Okay. That's fight stuff. There is nothing that says that aircraft can only be placed on using strategic reserves rules. I don't think you want an aircraft to deep strike. Well, you think about it. If we've got a 60-inch board, there are 3 reasonable places along that board and then more in between where you can deep strike them and get angles that you couldn't get from the sides. And your opponent can't as easily screen you off if you can show up anywhere and not just like you have to come in within the sides. So like that can have some big implications. Big implications for what you could get away with. So if we look at, let's get rid of the Viper and let's have a look at, I think the Crimson Hunter is the one that's good, or is the Hemlock Wraith Fighter? Let's have a look at both of them and we'll see. So this is T8, 3 up save, 5 up invuln, 12 wounds, 160 points. So same price as a Sun Shark. Each time this model makes a range attack, targets the unit can fly, add 1 to the hit roll and add 1 to the wound roll. There's a lot in the game that can fly right now. It's got 2 star cannons normally, but you can give it 2 bright lances. For 160 points, I don't know if that's enough. It's got a pulse laser, which... Oh, actually, so it's got 2 bright lance shots and 3 shots of strength 9 AP2 D6 damage. That's not fucking nothing. And with +1 to wound, that means this is wounding most things on 2s and this is wounding most things on 3s or 4s. That's not fucking terrible. That's not terrible. Yeah, so let's have a look at the Hemlock Wraith Fighter. So this one is T8, 3 up save, 12 wounds, no invuln, 155 points. This is equipped with 2 heavy D sides. While an enemy unit is within 9 inches of this model, subtract 1 from the battle shock and leadership test. That's kind of whatever. Just having 2 heavy D sides, 2d6 damage, blast, strength 12, AP4, damage 2. That is kind of great against like Marines. That's great against anything that really hates damage 2 stuff. It's kind of good against Terminator units and that sort of stuff. I think if I were going to go them, I'd probably go 2 Crimson Hunters. Interesting. So Eldari aircraft might actually be back on the menu. Now, one thing I didn't look at was the Warlock Skyrunner. What do these do? So, this is a leader that can attach to Wind Riders. I don't think we end up going them, but maybe. Runes of Battle in your command phase. Select one of the following to take effect until starting your next command phase. Models in this model's unit have the stealth ability, or ranged weapons equipped by models in the unit have ignore cover. Now, is that something, even though they don't have the vehicle keyword, is that, oh, you can attach this unit to the above unit even if one other leader unit, excluding Warlock units, has already been attached to it. If you do, and that bodyguard unit is destroyed, the leaders become separate. So Wind Riders, let's open them up. What can you have attached to it? So you can have an Autarch Skyrunner, Farseer Skyrunner, and then you can also put a Warlock Skyrunner on it. So Farseer and Autarch, what do they do for us? Let's just move those so that I organize these a little bit. So Farseer Skyrunner was +1 to hit. You pair that, and we'll have a look at the weapons to see whether +1 to hit, +1 to wound is relevant for it. And then you've also got... Oh, no, sorry. This is reroll the hit roll. What does the Autarch do for us? While it's leading in unit, when it advances, do not make an advance roll for it. Instead, till the end of the phase, add 6 flat out to it. So you're probably moving 20. If it's your Warlord, gain 1 CP. And then the Wind Riders themselves, if we're going in 9 model units, 240 points, which isn't actually so bad. 14-inch move base, T4, 3-up save, 2 wins apiece. Each time this model in this unit makes a range attack target's closest eligible target, reroll a hit roll of 1. Full rerolls to hit become less valuable then, I guess. If the target of that attack is within range of an objective marker, you get full rerolls to hit. So that basically knocks out the Farseer Skyrunner as something that we would want to do there. So you go the Autarch for the auto advance. Wind Riders, they've got twin shuriken catapults, but they can have them replaced with a scatter laser or a shuriken cannon. I think, would you want Assault twin linked? Because then you got full rerolls to hit, full rerolls to wound, but your strength 4 and your damage 1 as opposed to damage 2. And the shuriken cannon has an extra shot. So I guess that'd be, with 14 inches, really you'd be able to get into range whenever you need to with 24 inches. So you probably don't need the advance. So if we went Autarch and Warlock, that is ignore cover for the models unit, or they have stealth. So think about this. If you've got 9 times 3 is 27 shots, hitting on 3s, full rerolls to hit, strength 6, likely with +1 to wound, AP 1, damage 2, ignoring cover with sustained hits 1. That's kind of fucking nutty, right? Australia's David Wargaming Network has rated us with 16. How you doing, buddy? Thank you for the follows, everybody. Really appreciate it. Welcome, Scotty and crew. It's great to see you. We are just going over some Eldari stuff in the lead up to the detachment coming out for Grotmas. And we are doing this every single night. If you guys enjoy reacting live to that, actually, let's open up Warcom and we'll keep a track of that because we got the Demons coming tonight, and it's usually at 10:45 our time. So let's we got these guys just off to the side, and we'll refresh that as we need to. So yeah, and then you throw on top of that, the Autarch is likely going to have, what's he got? He can have the Twin Shuriken Catapult. His laser lance can be replaced with a Dragon Fusion Gun or a Banshee Blade. I think Dragon Fusion Gun, you get him in close enough. He's Melter 3, first off. At a single shot, that could be nice, I guess. The Banshee Blade, 5 attack, strength 4, AP 3, damage 1. It's all right if you want to charge him in, but I don't know. There's a ton of instances where you would. So what are we looking at for the entire combo? So we got 90 points, we got 55 points, and we got 240 points. So that takes it to 330 plus 55. That's 385 for the entire combo. That's not terrible, but that's not taking into account everything else that we might look at. Because we want to have a breadth of stuff, like even in a vehicle detachment, you don't want to just go vehicles. That is kind of a misnomer. We also want to have stuff that scores, so we're probably going to have Guardian Defenders going in there. Dark Reapers. So let's keep reviewing the infantry. So inescapable accuracy, and bear in mind that all of this is subject to change when the Codex comes out, and that's going to be happening soon. But I think learning stuff at a baseline, this is why I picked up Tau so quickly when the Codex came out, because I knew basically everything. You only have to like flip a couple of things in your mind. You don't have to relearn everything and there's overlap. So learning this stuff is still worthwhile. Each time this unit makes a ranged attack, you can ignore any or modifiers to the attack's ballistic skill characteristic into the hit roll. That actually has value. There is a fair amount of stuff that's modifying this in the game at the moment. There are 170 points for a 10 model, 85 for 5. You'd probably be taking them in 5s, honestly. You got an Exarch and the Dark Reapers. Is there a difference? Yeah, the Exarchs have an extra wound, as always. Everybody has a 5-up in Vuln, and they each have a Reaper launcher. The Exarch can replace that with a missile launcher, a shuriken cannon, or a Tempest launcher. Now, the Tempest launcher is the only thing we haven't seen before. That's 2d6, strength 4, AP 1, damage 1. That's actually kind of nice. 2d6 blast for getting at things that are behind cover and having the rest of the unit split off. Because, and would you believe this, Tau fans, other armies are able to freely split fire and not get -1 ballistic skill. How fucking crazy is that, right? Right? All right. Scotty, howdy, Jay. How's it going, brother? Really good, man. Really, really good. Whoa, what's this? A person without dark mode, peasants? I mean, dark mode is probably necessary, but yeah, I don't know. It's not even something I thought about. He's a little cuckoo, just tiny bit. Does it cause me pain? Yes, I do. Came in and felt like I'd been flashbanged. Well, does it make you feel better to see that the God Emperor Cavill is watching over us at all times? It's a beautiful, beautiful thing to see him just looking at me the way that I wish Chelsea would look at me, with disdain and ire. The cavalry is here, baby. All right, let's keep flashbanging people. Wait, nope, wrong one. It's a different one. So Dark Reapers for 85 points. The Reaper launcher, Star Shot, ignores cover, strength 8, AP 2, damage 2. It's only one shot. The Star Swarm for 2 shots, strength 5, AP 1, damage 1. I think there is some value to that. They are pretty long range. Are they something we would want to have, like disembarking from a Wave Serpent or a Falcon? The Wave Serpent doesn't actually benefit the unit that's getting out of it. And there's no movement difference between the two of them. This one, however, gives them full rerolls to wound. So if you think about things in context of that, Dark Reaper's getting out with a big old Reaper launcher, strength 8, full rerolls to wound, AP2 damage 2. It's not bad. A lot of the hit reroll stuff you don't really get because you're within a transport and the fast seer can't target you, so we're not looking at that as an overlap. Let's look at Tire Avengers. Avenging those tires. All right, it's the same deal with the Exarch extra wound. Everybody's got a 5-up invuln. Now, these guys have Avenger Shuriken catapults. Their ability is each time you target this unit with Fire Overwatch, when you resolve that stratagem, hits are scored on unmodified rolls of 5-up or unmodified hit rolls of 4-up, instead if this unit is within range of an objective marker you control. So that could be something where you look at like moving up a Falcon or a Wave Serpent, dumping the unit out onto the objective, clearing whatever's on there, and then when something else moves to try and take it back off you, you slam them with Overwatch. Because at the end of the day, like 3 attacks, strength 4, AP 1, damage 1, you're going to get through a fair amount of that because that's 15 attacks. If you're on a 5-man squad for 140 points, you're looking at 30 attacks, which as we know from Breacher squads, and also don't forget lethal hits, that's not too bad. The lead guy can be equipped with an additional Avenger Shuriken catapult, so that's actually 33 shots or 18 shots. The Shuriken catapult can be replaced with a Shuriken pistol and either a Dire Sword or a Power Glaive. I love that Power Glaive. And it's actually not a bad profile either. Obviously, the Dire Sword has devastating wounds, but it's only 3 attacks, so maybe the extra strength is just better to have for consistency. But I'd have to ask an Eldari player about that. And they can be led only by Azaman, which Azaman, will put him with the Tire Avengers just there. Okay, so he is, while he's leading a unit, add 1 to the hit roll, so they'd be hitting on 2s rather than 3s. Once per turn, you can target this with free fire Overwatch for 0 CP. Again, subject to change depending on what happens at the Codex. And he is equipped with the Bloody Twins and the Sword of Azure. So the Bloody Twins assault, lethal hits, pistol, 6 attacks, Strength 4, AP1, damage 2. It's not a terrible profile, honestly. And for a pistol, 24 goddamn inches. And then 6 attack, strength 6, AP3, damage 3. He has 115 points. So he's on the expensive side. But, yeah. I think he would be a really good assurance officer. Assurance. I wonder if he likes speeches. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. I'm not into dudes, but if Cavill wants to lay down beside me and whisper the specs of his PC into my ear, who am I to say no? I know. The first thing I did was force Chelsea to allow me to put Henry Cavill on my free to bang list. Like it just, and it's the 5 names are just Henry Cavill, Henry Cavill, Henry Cavill, Henry Cavill, Henry Cavill. Like every other person just got completely knocked off there. All right, so that's Azaman with his Dire Avengers. Now let's look at Fire Dragons. These are probably the ones that I would look at the most because I actually know something about these guys. The Dragon Fusion Gun, because they're equipped with those, and the Exarch can replace it for either a Dragon's Breath Flamer or a Fire Pike. The Fire Pike is fucking nutty. It's just a better fusion gun at strength 12 as opposed to strength 9. They've both got Melter 3. The fusion guns do have Assault, though in the sort of archetype that we're looking at, that becomes less relevant. Huge I'm not gay but moment. Look, I'm not gay, but Henry Cavill is Henry Cavill. There's nothing else to say. Like, nobody's that gay. Nobody's that straight is what I meant to say. Nobody. The Dragon's Breath Flamer is also good. You've got Strength 6 AP1, damage 1 is like a Grey Knight's Flamer, and those are obviously fantastic. These boys are 90 to 180 points, which does make sense. They can be led by Fugen. I didn't realize that Feud got a model named after him, but that's good for him. So he's got a Feel No Pain. He's got Seer's Song, either Beam or Lance, which, looks good. Melter 6. Oh my God, Melter 6. He has Unquenchable Resolve. The first time this model is destroyed, roll a d6 on a 2-up, set it back up, not within engagement range. Burning Lance, while it's leading a unit each time, they make an attack, add 1 to the hit roll, so all of your Fire Dragons are hitting on 2s. 130. I think Fire Dragons and Fugen might be an auto-include for what we're looking at. And I guess we could just call the name of the list like a Song of Fire and Fire, because it's just all Fire Prisms and Fugen and Dragons and like all that sort of shit. Then we'll look at Howling Banshees for a potential melee option. And this is where we get into Howling Banshees and Striking Scorpions. Obviously, the Falcons, when they shoot at something, the unit that disembark gets full rerolls to wound. If we think about these units in that sort of a context, it might actually change whether we want to take them. Now, this is 70 points for 5, 140 for 10. They are 5-up invuln, same as all of the other infantry units. They have fights first innately, which is very, very big. This unit is eligible to declare a charge in a turn in which it advanced or fell back. I don't have my thing up. What just happened there? Beal, thank you for gifting a sub to the Australia's Tabletop Wargaming Network. Honestly, Scotty, disappointed that you weren't subbed already. My goodness. When Eldari do bring us a flame better than sisters. So, thank you for the gifted sub, bud. We are 1 sub away from hitting our sub goal for the month. So, thank you, Beal, for getting us closer. Odysseus, how you doing, buddy? Howdy, I see we're looking at some space elves. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. We are on a never-ending quest to save my girlfriend. Some people may know that reference, but it's to learn the game of 40k. It's not to save my girlfriend. No, we actually hit the sub goal. Let's fucking go. Thank you, Beal. All right, so Howling Banshees, everybody equipped with a Shuriken pistol and a Banshee blade, and then the Exarch can take an Executioner or a Triskele. Triskele? It's Triskele. I have to look up how that's actually pronounced. So the Triskele actually gives him a ranged option, which is 3 attacks, strength 4, AP2, damage 1. Okay. And then in the context of the melee weapon, so the Banshee blades that everybody has, 3 attacks, strength 4, AP3, damage 1. Really solid profile, especially with rerolls to wound. Like, you're not going to get through vehicles or like really, really tough targets, but I don't think that's the Banshee's intended target anyway. The Executioner is 4 attacks, strength 5, AP2, damage 2. It's the only damage 2 weapon. Howling you can replace it with Mirror Swords. So you lose your pistol, but the Mirror Swords are 6 attacks, at strength 4, AP 3, damage 1. So it's basically, I'm assuming, like Banshee Blade stuck together like Darth Maul or... Yep. Drawn together. Another person of culture I see. Warp Spider's new Phoenix Lord looks so lit. Yes, it does. I want to get it inside me. Triskel, I believe is how it's phonetically pronounced. Well, boo. Also, we're 1042. Let's just do a preliminary check to see if GW released it early. At the moment in Grotmas detachments, we've got 18. So we're going to be looking at having more than that when it's actually released. Still 18. All right. No. We're good. We go. So, okay. So if you've got a 5 model unit that's getting out of a Falcon, the Falcon shoots them, you've got full rerolls to wound. You've got from the girls at a minimum 12 attacks, and then you've got whatever you take on the leader. Honestly, you could just go the Mirror Swords so that you've got 18 attacks straight up, all at the same profile. I think the Triskel at strength 3 is just... I don't know. That seems like it's not it. Really, I think it's the Executioner. Honestly, having the Executioner at damage 2, I think is just the better profile. It's one more attack than the Banshee Blade to start with. But again, I'll leave it to like actual Eldari aficionados for that. Is Jane Zar an option that we would look at taking? Because the Falcon, I believe, can take Jane Zar and a full unit. So she's Fight's first leader. T3, 2-up armor, 4-up invuln, 5 wounds. Wow, 2-up armor, my God. So she's got Silent Death, and then the Blade of Destruction, so either a strike profile at damage 2, strength 6, AP 3, or 12 attack, strength 4, AP 3, damage 1. Whirling Death, you can Heroic Intervention her unit for 0 CP, and even if you've used it, even if you have already used that stratagem on a different unit this phase, this is one of the ones that, despite the change to stratagems and how we reduced costs, this one is unchanged because it names the stratagem in the actual ability. So I believe that's gotten around it. And that gives them +1 to attack. So then you have your Howling Banshees hitting on 2s. So there's a very common theme throughout all the Phoenix Lords with that. For 90 points to get 6 extra attacks in the unit or 12 extra attacks, free Heroic Intervention, and +1 to hit, 90 points might be worth it, but I think it depends on how the rest of the list is kind of shaking out. Then let's have a look at the Striking Scorpions. Obviously, we want to bring up old Katowice. All right, so the Striking Scorpions, I'm sorry, that was terrible. 65 points or 130 for 10. Manda Blasters, devastating wounds when targeting monster or vehicle. Every single model is equipped with Scorpion, Chainsword, and Manda Blasters. So, the Exarch can replace his Shuriken Pistol and Chainsword with one Biting Blade, and the Striking Scorpion's Shuriken Pistol can be replaced with one Scorpion's Claw. So, if he does that, you've got the option of... What is it? He's either got... Because it says just the pistol, so you've got the Chainsword and you've got the Claw. The Claw becomes 4 attacks to strength 8, AP 2, damage 2. I don't know why you ever wouldn't take that. It's just strictly better. The Biting Blade, 5 attacks, sustained hits 1, strength 5, AP 1, damage 2. I think the Scorpion's Claw just wins every single time, and you also get a pistol profile with that. Yeah. And they don't have a data sheet ability, but it's because they got the Manda Blasters, I'm assuming. You throw them into a monster or vehicle, you get devastating wounds. If everybody's going into the same target, you've got, let's say on a 5-man unit, you've got 4x5, you got 4x4, which is 16 attacks on the main unit, and then 4 from the Scorpion's Claw, which you would roll separately. That seems really solid for 65 points. That seems kind of insane, especially when you consider that they're infiltrators. And you can put them in a position where you can threaten your opponent's turn 1. That seems kind of fucking nuts. And then if we look at Karandras, checking downloads. Grotmas detachment 19, it's up! It's up! Okay, we're looking for Daemons. All right, so Slanesh Legion of Excess. So, are we not getting all of the Chaos Gods? We're just getting Slanesh? Okay. Legion of Excess. The legions of Slaanesh surge into battle like a blood-spattered carnival run mad. It is a revel where every swathe of diaphanous silk is braided with screaming souls, and every beautiful smile stretches into a needle-fanged leer of cruelest hunger. The presence of these entities is enough to drive mortals mad, as the horrific evidence of their eyes wars with forbidden desire welling inside them like bile. Engulfed in intoxicating mists, they struggle to raise weapons against demonettes and fiends whose every caress bears a razor's edge. Wailing in blissful torment, they drop to their knees before towering keepers of secrets, pleading for gifts of agony the demons gladly dole out. Willingly, they hurl themselves beneath the hooves of seekers and the threshing blades of hellflayers. Against such insidious foes, what hope of victory can there be? The detachment rule is Beguiling Aura. Legiones Demonica Slaanesh units from your army are eligible to declare a charge in a turn in which they fell back. Seductive Gambit. Legiones Demonica Slaanesh units from your army have the following ability. Seductive Gambit. Each time this unit ends a charge move, you can declare you can declare it will perform a Seductive Gambit. If you do, until the end of the turn, this unit does not have the Fight's First ability, but instead, each time a model in this unit makes an attack, you can re-roll the hit roll and you can re-roll the wound roll. Tau, this is our worst fucking nightmare. I hate that this exists because it doesn't matter if we fight first. We don't do shit against them. Oh, no. Enhancements, False Majesty, Aura, 30 points. Legions Demonica Slaanesh model only, while a friendly Legions Demonica Slaanesh unit, I'm not going to keep saying Legiones, excluding monsters, is within 6 inches of the bearer. Each time a model in that unit makes a ranged attack, add 1 to the wound roll. This is really great for 30 points. A blanket be within 6 of me and get +1 to wound is really nice. It may be a little bit too restrictive depending on how they play, but yeah, we'll have to see. Dreaming Crown, Aura, 30 points. While a friendly Slaanesh unit, excluding monsters within 6 of the bearer, each time a model in that unit makes a melee attack, add 1 to the hit roll. Having 2 of these, like obviously it's 60 points, but that means across the battlefield, you can have +1 to wound and +1 to hit when you need it, or you could try and double them up and have a unit which is just a absolute fucking monster, but we'll see what that can actually attach to. I'm not enough of a Demons aficionado to know where that's going to go. A Slaanesh monster model only for 15 points, Avatar of Perfection. At the start of the phase, if there are no other friendly units within 6 inches of the bearer, you can reroll advance rolls made for the bearer, reroll charge rolls made for the bearer, ignore any roll modifiers to its move characteristic and to any advance and or charge rolls made for the bearer. So, get a monster, 15 points, at the start of each phase. If there are no other friendly units within 6, that monster gets to reroll advance rolls, reroll charge rolls, ignore any roll modifiers to its move characteristic, and to any advance and or charge rolls made for it. So, -2 to charge doesn't matter anymore, but that means that you have to keep your units away from it. It means it cannot have support, which I think is easy enough to do for a good Demons player. Yeah, really, really interesting, especially for 15 points. And then for 10 points, Soul Glutton, a Slaanesh monster model only. At the end of the fight phase, if one or more enemy models were destroyed this phase as a result of one or more of the bearer's attacks, it can use this enhancement. If it does, it regains up to D3 lost wounds. So, kill models, heal D3. Nice. Very nice. All right, and because this is chaos, we're going to go as chaotic as fuck as we can through the the stratagems. So, Sensory Excruciation. 1 CP, your command phase. A Slaanesh monster from your army that is on the battlefield. Each unit on the battlefield that is within your army's shadow of chaos must take a battle shock test, subtracting 1 from the test if they are below half strength. And that is, this stratagem forces, so designers note, this stratagem forces all friendly and enemy units alike within your army's shadow of chaos to do a battle shock test. This can allow a Chaos Demons player to heal units from their army through the Demonic Terror army rule at the risk of causing some of their own units to become battle shocked. Interesting. So, I'm fairly certain that if my memory is correct, in the Shadow of Chaos, when they're in their command phase or whatever, they take like a leadership test, or it's like they take a battle shock test, and if they pass, They heal if they fail, like nothing happens, or they're just battle shocked or whatever. This allows you to trigger it potentially an additional time. Yeah. Or it's you can force units that wouldn't otherwise have to take, because they don't have to take a battle shock test, to heal even though they're not below half. I think that's probably where it would be. All right, Phantasmal Longing. For 1 CP, your movement phase or your charge phase. 1 Demonica Slanesh unit from your army. Until the end of the phase, each time a model in your unit makes a move, it can move through terrain features they got walk through walls. Every goddamn motherfucker in this goddamn is getting walk through walls. Okay. All right. Okay. The other demon factions are out as well. Okay, they are doing 4. Okay. Cool. So we'll finish this one up. We'll go to the other demons. Thieves of Pain. 1 CP. Any phase just after an attack or mortal wound is allocated to a Slanesh unit from your army, excluding monsters. That Slanesh unit, select one other friendly Slanesh unit within 12 of your units. Notice it doesn't say no monsters for the second part of this effect. Just has to be within 12. Until the end of the phase, while the selected unit is on the battlefield, each time a model in your unit would lose a wound, inflict 1 mortal wound on the selected unit instead. So this allows you potentially to pick like a Demonate unit and then splash mortal wounds for losing wounds onto like a big-ass demon. And if you were to do this on, say, like the Grunkle, which has a feel no pain, against that mortal wound, you could potentially take like no fucking wounds. This will be maybe one of the strongest stratagems in the game, depending on how good the person is to like layer their units and put them there. This could make a unit damn near unkillable, depending on how you sort of mix this. Oh, no, sorry, it won't be a Grunkle because it has to be Slanesh. But if you've got like a Keeper of Secrets, for example, like I'm fairly certain, correct me if I'm wrong, they ever feel no pain? Yeah, so Sam, way ahead of me, but yeah. Other demons and detachments are up. Yeah. We've just had that come through. We're going to finish up the last of these. Arch-agonists, or Archagonist, depending on how dirty you're feeling. Fight phase, 1 Slanesh monster, or up to 2 Slanesh units, excluding monsters, from your army that have not been selected to fight this phase. Until the end of the phase, each time a model in one of those units makes an attack, add 1 to the wound roll. 2 units getting +1 to wound for 2 CP is actually fucking great. That is actually unironically a great stratagem. The monster, it'd depend on the unit, what it's going into, but like 2 units of demonettes, not even having to be within a certain range of each other. These could be other side of the battlefield because there's no range specified. That could be unironically a fucking banger. All right, and then the last one, Overwhelming Excess for 1 CP. Your opponent's shooting phase just after an enemy unit has selected its targets. 1 Slanesh unit, notice it doesn't exclude monsters from your army that was selected as the target. The attacking unit must take a battle shock test, subtracting 1 from the result. If it's passed, until the end of the phase, each time a model in the attacking unit makes an attack that targets yours, -1 to hit. If that test is failed, in addition to being battle shocked, until the end of the phase, the attacking unit cannot select your unit as the target of any attacks. That unit can then select new targets for any attacks that targeted your unit. So, if you pass, -1 to hit. If you fail, don't target that unit, but you can target something else. This stratagem will make it so important shooting armies that you have 2 targets that you are very readily able to go into. Otherwise, they rip this and they live. This detachment looks fucking cracked. This looks exceedingly strong. Obviously, you will need somebody who's good at staging, positioning, and being able to get their units into places where they need to go. But like Seductive Gambit, full rerolls to hit, full rerolls to wound, pluses to wound, +1 to wound from an aura, +1 to hit from an aura, fallback and charge. Like, there is so much in this. This is a great time to be a Slanesh player. Holy. All right, let's have a look at some of the others. It means having to run Slanesh minis in 2024. I think that'd still be good. Sadly, we're kneecapped by most of our detachments being overcosted. Well, cost might be a factor, but in terms of detachment rules, I don't think anybody could really be upset. Okay, so we got that one. We've got Blood Legion. Blood Legion. Open up, and then Scintillating Legion. Ooh. All right, that's success. That's Plague. I opened up 2 Plagues. All right, let's go with the Plague Legion. So this is our beautiful grandfather Nurgle. One moment, reality is a place of rationality. The next, the veil separating real space from the warped strains. Then bursts like a fatted boil, and from the suppurating rent spill the demon legions of Nurgle. Despair spreads before them like vomit soaking into pristine silk. Miasmal clouds engulf the foe, causing flesh to blister and slough, metal to fur with rust, and hope itself to rot away into dread misery. Already disoriented and gripped by gloom, the enemy now faces rank upon rank of rotted horrors as plague bearers slouch toward them, shepherded by the mountainous bulks of great unclean ones, with tittering tides of Nurglings flowing like sharp-fanged effluent about their legs, beasts of Nurgle bounding through their lines like living boulders, and malevolent plague drones thrumming down from above. The enemy's nightmare is just beginning. Detachment rule, Melancholic Miasma. While an enemy unit is within 9 inches of one or more Nurgle units from your army, that enemy unit is within your army's Shadow of Chaos. In each player's command phase, select one enemy unit within your army's Shadow of Chaos. That unit must take a Battle Shock test. All right, so there's going to be a lot of battlefield control that they're going to have. Canker Blight. Got to have those cankles. 15 points. It is an aura, a Nurgle model only. Each time an enemy unit, excluding monsters and vehicles, that is within 6 inches of the bearer fails a Battle Shock test, the bearer can use this enhancement. If it does, one model that in that unit is destroyed, chosen by its controlling player. Each time the bearer uses this enhancement, no mortal wounds are inflicted by your army's demonic terror rule. Interesting. So, yeah, non-monsters, non-vehicles, fails a Battle Shock test, just destroy a model. Okay. Initial assessment looks pretty fucking good. I mean, obviously it won't have any effect against monsters' vehicles, but that'd be disgusting if it did. But if you can, especially if you can get something down to like just being like characters and shit left, losing a character straight up, that feels bad. Maggot Maws for 15 points. In your shooting phase, select one enemy unit within 6 inches of the bearer. That enemy unit must take a Battle Shock test. Then roll 1d6 on a 3-up. That enemy unit suffers d3 mortal wounds. Each time the bearer uses this enhancement, no mortal wounds are inflicted by your army's demonic terror rule. Now, I feel like at this point I should look up what demonic terror is. So let's go factions, Chaos Daemons. Where is army rules? Shadow of Chaos, demonic terror. While an enemy unit is within your army Shadow of Chaos or is within 6 of blah 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 blah, units from your army, each time that unit takes a Battle Shock test, subtract 1 from the test, and if that test is failed, that enemy unit suffers d3 mortal wounds. So what this is saying is that you're giving up d3 mortal wounds to give them like destroy a model. Or give them, what's this one? D3 mortal wounds on a 3-up. Yeah, so this one's a little bit more reliable. It means that even if they take a Battle Shock test and succeed, you still get to roll a d6 and on a 3-up to deal d3 mortal wounds. But notice, no, it's every time it uses the enhancement. Okay, so that's interesting. It gives you something to do outside of your army rule just immediately applying. Okay. 35 points, Droning Shroud as an aura. Notice that all of these are in the form of auras, so I feel like the demon's are going to have a pretty consistent theme. Nurgle monster model only. While a friendly Nurgle unit is within 6 inches of the bearer, that unit can only be targeted by a ranged attack if it's within 18. I can see why that's 35 points. That is exceptionally powerful. Notice that there was a build of demons where all they would take is Be'lakor and then a bunch of big demons, because not a lot of armies actually have the means to get within 18, shoot at these big monsters, and then actually want to be in 18 inches of them if they, if those big demons live to the next turn. So this can be incredibly powerful for creating like a little castle around a Grunkle. All right. Font of Spores, aura 20 points. Nurgle monster only. While a friendly Nurgle unit is within 6, improve the armor penetration characteristic of weapons equipped by them by 1. That for 20 points is just really great. An aura of improve AP. And this will affect the model that you put it on as well. That's really good. That's really, really good. Controlling player gets to choose, so lone characters is probably the main target for this, for the Cankerblight. Yeah, I would agree. That's exactly where my brain first went to. All right, so Sarah, you're not wrong. They just got basically a codex. All right, so Seeping Virulence. 1 CP fight phase. 1 Nurgle unit from your army that has not been selected to fight this phase. Until the end of the phase, they crit on 5s. I think there's a lot of things that do something on a critical hit within Nurgle, so that is really powerful. Fetid Resurgence. Command phase, Nurgle unit from your army that's on the battlefield. Return up to 1 destroyed model to your unit, up to D3 if it's battle line. Full wounds remaining. If it's a monster unit, 1 model in your unit regains D3 plus 1 lost wounds. 2 CP for that. It is pretty expensive. This would have to be on something very, very high value. Anybody who knows Demons better, correct me, but that seems a little on the expensive side. Yeah. Merc Shadows, 1 CP, your movement phase. 1 Legion Demonica Nurgle unit, Nurgle infantry unit from your army. Until the end of the phase, each time a unit makes a normal move, add 5 to the move characteristic. That is fucking great. No two ways about it. Holy. Okay, cool. No doubt. Rotten Renewal, 1 CP, your movement phase or your charge phase. 1 Legion Demonica Nurgle unit from your army until the end of the phase. Each time a model in unit makes a move, it can move through terrain features. Oh my god, everybody's got it. Oh my god. DW, stop! There are too many people that can walk through fucking walls! I just spat everywhere. That's how upset I am. I just spat everywhere. Oh boy. Yeah, like, I feel like I'm going to see this for every other fucking demon unit, but this... Okay, I'm going to say this. If Tau gets a fucking walker detachment that buffs up our Storm Surge and Riptide and all that sort of stuff, and we don't get walk through fucking walls, I'm going to chuck a fit. Anyway, Fever Visions, you're shooting on the fight phase. A Nurgle unit from your army that has not been selected to do the things. Until the end of the phase, each time a model in your unit makes an attack, add 1 to the hit roll. After it's finished making its attacks, like 1 enemy unit hit by 1 or more of those attacks, they must take a battle shock test. That also means if they're in your Warp Shadow, you can give them mortal wounds if they fail. So that is really good for 1 CP. That's kind of crack for 1 CP. Then Plague of Woes, 1 CP. Your opponent's command phase, before selecting any targets for the Melancholic Miasma detachment rule. 1 Nurgle unit from your army. Until the end of the phase, after an enemy unit takes a battle shock test as a result of that detachment rule, select 1 other enemy unit within 9 of your unit. That enemy unit must take a battle shock test. So somebody takes it, you splash it over. Notice that, like, this unit doesn't even have to be in range of that other unit. It's just when one of the enemy units have to take it, select 1 other enemy unit within 9 of the unit you select, and they also have to do it. So that's pretty good. That's if that's working the way that I'm reading that, that's going to be an all the time thing. Yep, pretty Nurgle. Looks pretty good. Yeah, not much else to say about that. I think that this one's probably a little bit too expensive, but I don't know if healing and returning models for 1 CP is like too broken. But yeah, Nurgle's got a Nurg, you know? Got to get those Nurgs. Tower get walk through walls, but instead shoot through walls. I will eat my fucking left foot if we get shoot through walls. If it's going to be anything, it's instead of choosing enemy targets, you are allowed to target yourself. And models in this detachment may only shoot at friendly models. Like. Worst detachment so far for Nurgle? Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. The Blood Legion! The demon legions of Khorne burst into real space like blood from an artery. Blood crushers pound the ground as they lead the charge, slamming into the enemy lines with avalanche force. Behind them come snarling flesh hounds and gore-slick bloodletters. The bellow of brazen war horns sounding their mass charge. Through the clangor of blades and screams, a new sound cuts the air as flaming skulls whistle down to explode amongst the enemy, spat from the maws of skull cannons to inflict maximum slaughter. Then the dark shadow of outstretched wings spreads over the foe. Roaring bloody murder, the bloodthirsters of Khorne slam down from on high to unleash carnage beyond the imaginings of mortal warriors. As severed heads tumble and blood falls like monsoon rain, crimson doom engulfs the enemy altogether. The detachment rule, murder call. Each time an enemy unit, excluding aircraft, another reason to take aircraft, ends a normal or advanced move within 6 inches of one or more Khorne units from your army, one of those Khorne units can make a surge move towards that enemy unit to do... Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, my God. Oh, no. No! Roll 1d6. Models in your unit move a number of inches up to the result, but your unit must stand as close as possible to that enemy unit. When doing so, they can be moved in engagement range of that unit. A unit cannot make a surge move while it's within engagement range of one or more enemy units. They gave them army-wide surge moves. Oh my God. All right. I want all of you to take some time to think about what the fuck GW has just done. Oh my God. 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 What the fuck? I'm going to get my headrest. And I'm really glad that my headrest knows comedic timing. Sarah, you missed that they gave a detachment rule is surge moves. Space Wolves and Wheaties, I hope you enjoyed having something particularly unique on a few key units, because now fucking everybody has got it in this Khorne detachment. All right, let's not freak out straight away. It might not be that bad. They also, if that wasn't enough, have Blood Tainted. At the end of a phase in which a Khorne unit from your army destroyed an enemy unit that is within range of an objective marker at the start of the phase, if your unit has a higher level of control over that objective marker, that remains under your control until... Oh my God. So they gave them surge moves and sticky. Whew. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Oh boy. Okay, we might be in for a rough time here. All right, 35 points. Slaughterthirst. Aura. Khorne model only. While a friendly Khorne unit excluding monsters within 6 of the bearer, they have Lance. That's very thematic for them. Makes sense as 35 points as well. Fury's Cage. 20 points. A monster model only. Each time the bearer is selected to fight, it can use this enhancement. If it does, the bearer suffers D3 plus 1 mortal wounds. And until the end of the phase, each time it makes an attack, it can reroll the hit roll and it can reroll the wound roll. Holy fuck, that's only 20 points. Khorne model only. 15 points. Add 2 to charge rolls made for the bearer's unit. So that means that they could come out, and I'm pretty sure it's a demon thing to deep strike within 6. Is that not a thing? Tell me that's the index detachment and not just like a general thing. But even then, 7-inch charges out of normal deep strike. Okay. Tau, start getting your Kauyon together, because like you're going to need the -2 to charge. Gateway unto Damnation, or your screens, I guess. Core monster only. The bearer's deadly demise ability inflicts mortal wounds on a d6 roll of 2+ rather than on a 6. In addition, if the bearer has destroyed one or more enemy units this battle, the bearer has deadly demise d3 plus 3 instead of any other deadly demise on its thing. 10 points. I mean, that's fine. I guess like it just guarantees that the explosion's going to go off. It's actually kind of cool for a Khorne ability. All right, let's go to the stratagems. Wrath Undeniable. Fight phase, just after an enemy unit has selected its targets. Khorne unit from your army that was selected as the target of one of those attacks. Until the end of the phase, each time model is destroyed, fight back on a 4-up. Okay, so it's got fight on death. That kind of makes sense. 1 CP blood begets skulls. Charge phase, hasn't been selected to charge. Advance and charge, because of course it does. Gore Hungry Onslaught. Move through terrain features for 1 CP. Fool's Flight, your opponent's movement phase just after it falls back. That is within 6 of that enemy unit would be eligible to declare a charge. Your unit now declares a charge that targets only that unit, and you resolve that charge. You don't receive a charge bonus. That's 2 CP. Skulls beget blood. Your shooting phase, Khorne infantry or Khorne mounted unit from your army, excluding ones that fell back, that is not within engagement range of one or more enemy units. Select one enemy unit that is not within your engagement range of one or more units from your army and is within 8 of and visible to your unit. Grenade them. It's grenades. Sheathed in brass, your opponent's shooting phase just after an enemy unit selects its targets. A Khorne unit from your army that selects its target of those attacks. Until the end of the phase, models in your unit have a save characteristic of 3+. That means AP0 gets worse. Excuse me for a second. Fuck! Are you fucking kidding me? Fuck! All right. Okay. So I just did a little bit of meditation. It was very very zen, very calm. For anybody on YouTube who doesn't know what just happened, Chicken Coop redeemed Show Some Chest. So, Sarah, the Khorne detachment may be the most broken thing I've ever seen. I don't know how this got through. I might be missing something with data sheets. But they have fight on death, advance and charge, go through walls. If somebody falls back from you within 6, just charge them again in their movement phase. Yeah, Feud. I think you've got the nuts of it. I haven't looked at Tzeentch. Slaanesh looked good. Let's wash the taste of Khorne dick out of my mouth and go to Tzeentch. Yeah. No, they go through walls. They go through walls. I will in fact not shut up. They go through walls and advance and charge and fight on death. And they have an enhancement to just blanket give everything within 6+2 to charge out of deep strike or whatever the fuck they want. We're fucked, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Scintillating Legion. Capering and cackling in an endless flux of transmogrifying change, the demonic legions of Tzeentch unleash kaleidoscopic madness upon their enemies. Malevolent lords of change, robed in sanity-blasting unhues, wield raw magic with the ease of breathing. They marshal their bedlam hordes even as they transform screaming mortals into mounds of mutant flesh or set light to reality itself. Pink, blue, and brimstone horrors danced amidst the leaping flames. Their sorceries unleashed in scintillating bombardments alongside the mutagenic blasts of bounding flamers. Blade-fin screamers flit through the skies in spiteful shoals, wheeling around the burning chariots that streak into the enemy lines like multicolored comets. While all around them, reality itself distorts into screaming insanity. The detachment rule is Fates in Flux. You start the battle with 3 Flux tokens. You can spend 1 Flux token just after an advance roll, hit roll, wound roll, damage roll, saving throw, or hazardous test made for a Tzeentch model or Tzeentch unit from your army to reroll the result of that roll, throw a test. Flux tokens can also be spent to enhance the effects of some stratagems. Each time you spend a Flux token, reduce the number of Flux tokens you have by 1, and your opponent gains 1 Flux token. Whenever your opponent has 1 or more Flux tokens, they can spend 1 Flux token after an advance roll, hit roll, wound roll, or saving throw. It's made for the model or unit from their army to re-roll the result of that roll or throw. If they do, they reduce the number of Flux tokens they have by 1, and you gain 1 Flux token. This is ignored if your opponent has the Fates in Flux detachment rule. In your command phase, if your opponent has 1 or more Flux tokens, you gain 1 Flux token. That's kind of cool. Honestly, that's kind of cool. There's like this little back and forth. There's like, you know, your opponent can't just hold all the flux tokens and you don't get one back. That's kind of cool, honestly. Inescapable Eye, 10 points. A Zinch model only in your command phase if the bearer is on the battlefield. If your opponent has one or more flux tokens, you gain one additional flux token. Infernal Puppeteer, 10 points. A Zinch monster model only. Each time the bearer is selected to shoot, you can select one of the friendly Zinch unit within 9. If you do, when selecting targets for ranged weapons equipped by the bearer, you can measure range and determine visibility from one model of your choice in your selected unit instead. That is crazy. That is so good for 10 points. That is indirect but better. God damn. Neverblade, 20 points. Zinch monster model only. Improve the strength characteristic of melee weapons equipped by the bearer by 2. Improve the attacks and armor penetration characteristic of melee weapons equipped by the bearer by 1. And each time the bearer makes a melee attack, add 1 to the hit roll. So it just gives you, like, this is what we need for Tau. This just gives you a decent melee threat. Improbable Shield, aura, 30 points. A Zinch model only. While the friendly Zinch unit is within 6 inches of the bearer, models in that unit have the feel no pain 4+ against psychic attacks and mortal wounds. You want to come up, little moon? Come here. Hey, come here. Come on. Come on. You're in a playing mood, aren't you? Do you want to say hi to the stream? Come here. Come here. That's my good boy. Hey, you were trying to do big plays, weren't you? But you don't do big plays. All right. So that is our auras. Significantly less cracked than the last one. Impossible Eclipse for 1 CP. Any phase, a Zinch monster unit from your army that is on the battlefield. No, you can't have my leftover dinner, Mushu. Hey, no, not for you. Not for you. Come here. Come here. So, monster from unit from your army that's on the battlefield. Select No Man's Land or your opponent's deployment zone, or spend 1 flux token and select both. Until the end of the phase, the selected areas of the battlefield are within your army's shadow of chaos. That's kind of cool, actually. Fickle Fire. Your shooting phase. A Zinch unit from your army that's within engagement range of 1 or more enemy units. Hello, baby. Hey, no licks. Until the end of the phase, enemy units are considered to be within engagement range of your unit for the purposes of selecting targets for and resolving attacks with ranged weapons. So, your shooting phase, Zinch unit from your army that's within engagement range. Oh, sorry. Enemy units are not considered to be within engagement range. We saw this from one of the other detachments, actually. It's the same stratagem. Until the end of the phase, each time an enemy model is destroyed while its unit is within engagement range of your unit, roll a d6 on a 5+ unit, suffers 1 mortal wound after the attacking unit has finished making its attacks. Yeah, that is a microphone. That is a microphone. Holy shit, Feud raises a good point. Bloodletters have +1 to charge built in. So it's a 6-inch charge out of Deep Strike. Oh my god. All right. Fateborn Nightmares. Your movement phase or your charge phase. 1 Zinch unit from your army until the end of phase. I can move through terrain because fucking of course it can. All right. There we go. There we go. You're all good, Mishy. Sorry, everybody. Had to give my little boy some love. All right, Pyrogenesis, you're shooting a fight phase. A Zinch unit from your army not been selected to shoot or fight. To the end of the phase, add 2 to the strength characteristic of weapons equipped by models in your unit. Spend 1 flux token, get 3, and improve the AP of those weapons by 1 instead. All right, so this is shooting or fighting +3 to strength, because let's assume they're going to save a token for it, and -1 AP. That could be 2 CP. I guess for +3 strength, -1 AP, that is about the right mark. 2 CP, yeah. Delirium Unmade, end of the opponent's fight phase. Zinch model from your army that's not within engagement range of 1 or more enemy units. Alternatively, you can spend 1 flux token when you use the stratagem. Target up to 2 Zinch units from your army, excluding those within engagement range of 1 or more enemy units. Remove them from the battlefield, place them into strat reserves. Really great stratagem for them. And then Flickering Reality, fight phase just after an enemy unit has selected its targets. Zinch unit from your army that was selected as the target of 1 or more of the attacking unit's attacks. Roll a d6, then you can spend 1 flux token to re-roll the result. Until the end of the phase, each time an attack targets your unit, on an unmodified hit roll, after any re-roll of that result, the attack sequence ends, even if the original hit roll would have been a critical hit. Fucking what? Fight phase just after the select the targets. Roll 1d6, then you can spend 1 flux token to re-roll the result. Until the end of the phase, each time an attack targets your unit, on an unmodified hit roll of that result, the attack sequence ends. Okay, so like you roll 4s. They roll a 4, it ends. If you roll a 2 and choose to spend 1 flux token to reroll the result, and the result is a 6, then until the end of the phase, each time an attack targets your unit on an unmodified hit roll of 6, the attack sequence ends. That attack fails to hit and no critical effects are resolved. Interesting. Yeah, people not being able to lethal is actually kind of funny. Huh. Okay. All right. Then let's have a look at who's coming tomorrow. Let's go home. Daemons. Rock and Stone! We got the Votan. I'm so keen for that because this bad boy hasn't moved from my desk this whole time because my little chonk needs to be acknowledged. I can't wait to see what the Votan get. The thing is, though, to not take 4 judgment tokens at the start of the battle and like fucking 3 CP or whatever it is, that has got to be a ridiculous amount. I just want to point out, I, for one, welcome our new Khorne overlords and really look forward to seeing nothing but fucking Khorne at every goddamn event that we go to. I don't understand how this and Necrons got through. Like, this is insane. This is insane. Oh, remember Khorne loses 6-inch deep strike, but GW overcompensated? Yeah, they overcompensated hard. Like, yeah. But everybody, that is our detachment reveals for tonight. If you haven't followed on YouTube or Twitch, make sure you go and do that. Do the internet things and like and comment and all the stupid shit, or don't. I'm not your dad. Thank you very much to all my patrons who make all of my videos possible, and my YouTube members. If you would like to join them and get access to the Discord, where we have a beautiful, thriving community, head to the links in the description or hit YouTube membership down below. The $5 tier or higher is where you want to look for to get yourself access to that. It has been wonderful getting all this blood dripped all over my face for forever and ever and ever and ever. I like how Bellacore got a big middle finger. There's darkness coming. There's a darkness coming. No, Sarah, you were right the first time. He dwarfs it. Because dwarves are coming tomorrow. We will, we'll see you tomorrow night for the stream. And hopefully my little short kangs are as broken as this shit. I got no words for you. Thanks for joining me, everybody. Have a great night.